So here we go live. So welcome everyone to websites meeting. Today is 26th of June. And if you haven't added your name into the meeting minutes, make sure you add and mark your attendance. And if you got any agenda, feel free to add it in. And before we start our call, so if you got webcams, don't be shy. Feel free to open your webcams. And with that, we'll be starting off with weekly tradition to introduce newcomers. So if you are a newcomer, haven't introduced to this call yet, this is your chance. You can sound off and give a quick introduction. So do we have any newcomer on this call who would like to introduce? So Ananya Gautam, so is this your first time joining the websites call? Would like to say hi? We can't hear you, Ananya. So if you could try again, or you can introduce in chat also.
Hi Gaurav. So, am I audible now?
Yep, you are.
So yeah, I have attended the meeting for the website. Quite like the first time I attended was on 22nd, I remember, and then not 22nd, 19th, I guess. So yeah, so I have attended the meeting minutes before, and I've worked on the document section as well. The PR got merged, and yeah.
That's great then. Um, do we have any more newcomers? So Vishwa Raval, you are on mute. Would like to say hi or anything?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Vishwa, you are audible.
This is not my first time. I'm coming from quite a big time. I have contributed in Meshery.io website as well.
Oh, that's great. So you could also add. Okay, so I see you have added a PR to discuss. That's great then. All right, since we don't have any more newcomers in today's call, so let's start. So first up, we'll be discussing about the topics of layfile.io, next Meshery.io, then docs.meshery.io, and then we'll follow along. So first update is on the landscape update. On these two, adding two new things, Nasp and Flomesh in our landscape. So Vivek would like to present this thing.
Yes. So these two are like update to the landscape. So if you will please open the preview. Okay, so first have a look on the changed files, Gaurav. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So there is not much update. I mean, the contributor has not updated the timeline, but still, let's have a look.
To be updated, I think he needs to be update the timeline also. So you can comment on that pull request as a review.
Okay, got it. And then Flomesh, yeah. Yeah, files change. So I think he has added in the timeline, he has updated the timeline too, I think.
Yep. So it's good to merge then.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Okay, so yeah.
So thanks, Vivek. So moving on, next we have an update from Deepak, Savio, or Vikramaditya. So I guess all of them are on the call. So who would like to take the stage?
Vikramaditya, you can go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Vikram, you are. I would like to share your screen.
Yes.
And discuss your updates.
So here we are. Main we have to just did the changes on the get the book form, and here we are having the destructive UI issues. So as per the guidelines of Savio, I did the required changes, and here is the layout. I request to please have all of your valuable feedbacks on the layout.
Yeah, the form layouts looks a bit different from the one we have on other pages.
Yes.
Can you share the before the changes that were before? The issue was like the initially the book was beside the description. So when folks were trying to add this get the book form. So when the get the book form was getting submitted, it was changing its ratio. So the text was not properly set up on that website. So after that, I just suggested that we can take the get book form below the description and the image side by side, so it may look better. But the get the book form uh, was you can say horizontally layout. Yeah, this one. So it was not looking proper. So I just suggested that we can make the first name and last name side by side, so it might look a bit better than previous.
The form looks good. Could you please just quickly fill up the form and show the post submission dialog also? Also, are the changes in both the book sections are consistent, right, Savio?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a couple of suggestions in chat also from Avantika and Saksham. Avantika would like to speak on this.
Hey, yeah. I just can I just take a look at the form one more time?
Addition to subscription.
Can you say that one more time, Vikram? I couldn't hear that.
Vikram, if you reload the page, that will show the form. All right, I think we lost Vikram.
No, I'm still here. My net
No,
is
yeah.
lagging. Wait, pardon me for a minute. I'll do it quickly.
So till the time Vikram is sharing, so we'll circle back to Vikram. The major feedback is over here is you can just start with replacing the link with the form. So next up we have an update from Shivam. So Shivam is not with us, so I'll quickly describe his update. So he has fixed the arrangement in the mega menu dropdown and some changes with the scroll spy. I'll share his PR in chat, so if anyone would like to review.
Okay, I did that.
All right. Thanks, Vivek.
This will fix the extra white space also, no? In the mega menu.
I'm not sure about that. We can verify that later, I guess. So Darren, you are up next. Would like to share updates on add tooltip on hover effect?
I guess am I audible?
Yes, Darren, you are.
I will, can I share my screen?
Sure.
So my issue was to add tooltip on hover over the badges in the member page. So that is sorted for now. It's done, as you can see. So I had some issues with the first PR. The tooltip was getting cut off, but now even that is still sorted. So I'll post the link of the pull request in the comments. You can add your reviews.
Yeah, just one minor feedback over here. The tooltip content isn't aligned within it.
Yeah, the thing was, if it is aligned like just below the icon, so it's being cut off. So that's why it's.
So yeah, but it still can be aligned properly with that without being it cut off.
Yeah, okay, sure. I'll do that.
So yeah, if you're like unable to do that, let's get you help on the PR.
I'll try once, and then if it's still the same, then I'll let you.
Also, like Darren, SMP badge was gone like the first time you made a second new PR. So
it's done.
are you sure this is not the case with another badges, right?
Yeah, it's completely done now.
Okay, okay.
All right. Thanks, Darren, for the update. So up next, we have an update from Randy. So Randy is also not on the call. So we'll quickly discuss his update. So he has fixed the Lighthouse integration that test we are running on each PR. I'll share his PR in chat. So do anyone has feedback for Randy? I don't have much context to offer here.
Yep, just some impressive work. I mean, diligent work. I do know that Udit is going to be away for a couple of days until Thursday, so he may not take a look just yet. But so this one still is on Lighthouse, and Ayush Sharma said he would take a look. But do you see any comments from Ayush?
Nope.
Okay, I'll follow up with Ayush.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at it. I mean, deeply, and so. But it definitely deserves a good review.
Yep.
Is there anyone on the call that thinks that they want to dig into this? I guarantee you'll learn something. I like how he talks about the concept of page weight. That's great.
All right.
Okay.
So if anyone would like to review, I have shared the link in chat. So let's move to next item. That's from Karan. Karan would like to share an update on your Meshery operator blog. Karan, you're on mute.
Sorry for this, because this is the blog that I've written, which is describe the Meshery operators. So this blog will be covering the concept about the Kubernetes operators. So for those who don't know, Kubernetes operators extend the functionalities of Kubernetes in the day 0, day 1, and day 2 scenarios. So I've described what are operator and what are the use cases on when we use the operator, and about our Meshery operator and the and the custom controller that it manages, which is the broker controller and the meshing controller, and also about how does it work. So it would be great if the maintainers could provide some valuable reviews. There's a need of the thumbnail. I mentioned it with Ritik. He's busy with other works. Whenever he will be free, then he'll just provide me with that, and I'll update it.
The logo of Meshery operator seems quite bigger.
Okay, I'll decide it. I mainly took the resources from the community drive and the docs.meshery.io. So whatever I could find out, I just took the help from all these resources and created this blog.
Karan, you did a great job. Yeah, this is great. I can't believe that we don't have, like, even the page that describes the operator doesn't go very far in depth. I think the operator is described on like the bottom of one of the Meshery pages. And so having a blog post on this topic is fantastic. And yeah, you did exactly what I would hope for you to do, which is not necessarily have to author much of this yourself. Not that you didn't write any amount of this, or that you didn't collate various bits of information from different places, but which you did, but a lot of it you didn't have to generate from scratch. That there are, I'm not sure, there's two or three there's three design specs that cover what the operator is and what mesh sync is. And it doesn't mean, there's some bits of that that are golden and pretty interesting, pretty intriguing to be used, but not everything from the doc necessarily fits out in a blog post like this. And then we've documented, some of its purpose and a little bit of how to troubleshoot, like mesh sync and what the purpose of the broker is out in the docs. So yeah, bringing all that info together into a blog post, wonderful. Yeah, and you've got something you might be able to interlace in here just to spruce things up if you want to, is the mesh sync logo is a standalone, that circle on the operator's chest. You can toss that in there somewhere if you like, just have another, graphic. The broker is a NATS server, like you'd mentioned. And so there's a NATS logo. And so just two other visual aids just to, intermix into the text, if you like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I'll give this a read though, see if we can, if there's anything we can add, just to something else that we generally want to do as any of you, and you're all welcome to write blog posts like this. There's actually a ton of things that Meshery does that either A, we haven't documented, or B, we do have documented, but no one's written a blog post about it to just try to explain it to the world. So you're all welcome to do that, or write on different things. I lost my train of thought. There was another thing here is anytime that you write blog posts, or anytime that we create any pages, really, we do want to consider interlinking the pages, pointing out other helpful or information that people can go read about. In this case, perhaps there's a link that's appropriate to the description of mesh sync, or the broker, or the operator in the docs. Maybe there's one docs link, or maybe there's three, or there are other pages on the site that articulate what the operator and the controllers do slightly differently, not as in depth. And so it might make sense to link to one of those pages if they have a piece of different info, or if you're trying to articulate how it is that, like how these get used, one per Kubernetes cluster. There's a blog post on how Meshery manages multi-cluster Kubernetes, multiple cluster Kubernetes deployments. So maybe a link to that blog post just to explain. That's all additive, and it's all it sort of enhances the user's the reading experience, but it also helps build a web of links between the other pages. And so good. I'm glad you picked this one up. This is nice. There's a couple of times where you've got exclamation marks in here. I haven't read it, but I'm just, and sometimes those are called for, but yeah, when you think of them, you probably generally use them somewhat sparingly. Just as a matter of style, the ampersand or the at sign, not the at sign, is it the ampersand? No, what is it? It's the and sign. I forget the, you might replace with and, just as a matter of style, the word and. It's great. We'll have to give it a review and get it out there, get it published.
Yeah, regarding that, I had an opinion like we could change the author from the contributor itself to the layer 5 team. Then we can write a LinkedIn post, Twitter thread, and then we can promote it in the socials.
Nice. Yeah. If we do that, I might be inclined to add quite a bit more to what's written here, or like to try to get beefed up. Something like this one and the last post that you wrote, these are wonderful items to replicate to the Meshery IO blog as well. We hadn't kept that one. We hadn't focused on that one. It was hard enough for us to get blog posts out in general. I'd gotten a comment from someone who'd recently joined the community, a user, and one of their comments was how pleasantly surprised they were to see how thriving the community is and how busy things are, and to learn about some of the features of Meshery. Because as they were saying that, their side comment was that it didn't appear to be that way from the outside or from the website. Which is to say, maybe they were looking for like some fresh events that we had attended or been at, or some fresh blog posts. But I guess it just, the site looks nice, but I guess to him, it looked vacant. So yikes. So we can make copies of these posts and just get them onto that site.
There's also like Meshery adapter blog, which I am currently working on. I'll also, once this one gets wrapped up, I'll work on that one.
Beautiful.
All right, that's great, Karan. So next up we have updates on stick figure section from Mohith. Is Mohith on the call? No, he is not. So let's quickly take a look at his PR. So he has added the stick figures section in the brand guide. So yeah, it looks good to me. He had one comment that why we don't support dark mode. So because that's why we are using a white background for stick figures.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, when we put the stick figures in white stroke, not black, and put them on a dark background, we've done it a few times. Maybe I'll try to send. Geez, now it looks ominous in my room. I'll try to send maybe a couple of examples about what that looks like. And then you all can sort of see for yourself. Because it would be nice to have support for both. And certainly, Yeah, some of the graphics that the community has released, might be a couple of recent examples on Twitter, or a couple of recent examples in the various blog posts. Sometimes what we'll try to do is add some color to the background while leaving the area around the stick figure itself generally white. We don't always have that luxury though, if we want to drop the stick figure into, so I wonder, do you mind browsing to the blog briefly on layer 5.io? Because this is just one perspective. It would be really good to hear from the rest of you about whether or not a light mode or a dark mode would work. So there's a couple of examples of how the figures are being used. We've been intentional about kind of conventions of style conventions for these, to not color their heads, only color their feet, maybe not color both feet and hands. We've been trying to establish some ground rules to not to leave white behind them, to take some of the brand colors and intermix them in a multicolor gradient around. You can see the charcoalish dark gray and the light gray that was used on that sign. And here we kind of kept it white behind them. Now you see the tadas, or the cone. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Got a terrible mic stand. You see the cone shaped celebrations. They don't really stand out, or I didn't notice them until after a few seconds of what they were. You could tell that there was something there, but my eyes didn't tune into what they actually were. That my sense is that's kind of what happens when the stick figures are white. They just don't pop out of the page. Something else that we've been doing since you were asking, and since you're all enthralled by this topic, something else we've been doing is adding a slight, fairly highly blurred shadow behind the stick figures. So I don't know if you get, it's kind of hard to tell through Zoom and through the picture here, but I don't know if you can all tell there's a slight background to each of the stick figures. One of the things that this seems, at least to my eyes, it feels like there's a glossy, this has something of an effect, making them feel a little bit glossy. So it's kind of an interesting thing. You might have to look at it on your screens to get a sense of that. But Ritik Saxena has been working on a pack of these figures, this mascot, doing various activities, and so just trying to make those resources available. We've for a long time had community and project specific templates or slide templates, and a bunch of people have given a bunch of different talks and used them, but they need to be enhanced as we've had new projects come forth, as we have this mascot now, and so just that collection of assets is, I think, part of what we're trying to do is publish these. But so they are available, I think, in SVG format. There's a bunch of assets, by the way, that are available in the community drive. There's a whole folder called like websites and assets or something. If you like, anyone's welcome to grab those SVGs or those Illustrator files and try out a dark mode just to see what happens.
All right. So another issue that Mohith is working on is download the case study button. So yeah, I created this issue for, we have a case study tag present in the resources. So we need to have it available on the PDF form. So user can click download and download all the things and item present in that particular case study. So let's see if we don't hear from Mohith this week on this particular issue. If not, we'll reassign it to someone else. So next up is a PR raised from Yogesh. So do we have Yogesh on the call? Nope, we don't. So I'll quickly open his PR. So he's working on enhancing the footer that was getting hidden when we open the keyboard. So he has opened a pull request. I'll share the link in chat so you all can take a quick look. Yeah, Karan, go ahead.
As like Douglas has mentioned, it has to do with the discussion forum. The changes are not quite yet like there have to be done some more changes. I'll comment on it.
All right. Yeah, we do have the header and footer section available in the Layfi site only, so you can comment over here. Cool. So, Said, you're up next with add private label. So, I don't think we have Said on the call as well.
Can you click on preview?
Sure, I'll click.
Please. Yeah. Their Meshery Cloud private label. Karan will say something on his.
Yeah, it's a small enhancement. It has to do with adding a private label in the Meshery Cloud Remote Provider repo. Since it is not accessible to the public, he has added this small label, which signifies that it is a private repo. This was only the change.
Yeah, I think we can do something else over here.
Also, I just mentioned another thing that like there's the mesh map repo link was redirecting us to the specific commit preview. So I commented and say, yeah, there's incorporate the change, and now it is redirecting us to the mesh map section of the layer 5 website.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an enhancement to the colors and styles to this that you can make. All right, so no more comments over there. So next up, Savio, you have an update on 3D book. Would like to share screen?
Yeah. Yeah, so actually the issue has been merged. The changes that Gaurav had said earlier to make. So on reload, it gets rotated and the shadows have been little bit changed. The thing was, Lee mentioned to add this, maybe add this book on the next page is rendering, right? Gaurav?
Yep.
Or only the
over here, right?
Yeah, okay. So Lee mentioned to add the community handbook on maybe community page, also on handbook page, but as it is redirecting to handbook page itself, so I guess it won't make a sense. And also some of the contributors folks said to convert this book PNG to 3D. So should we create the same for this?
Yeah, so good question for everybody on the call. If you see this book right here, it's in, well, I guess it's still in 2D, but it's just an image that's been angled a little bit and I think has a slight shadow. Okay, and then Savio worked with a different 3D CSS generator to create this book cover. And so the question is, should we go ahead? So should we go ahead and change that first book that we were looking at to be more of this style? Anybody kind of who likes the, yeah, some votes coming in for 3D. It's hardly fair. I mean, it's like, not only is it 3D, but it's also interactive. So it's not like it's exactly a fair comparison. Makes
Also,
sense.
what about in this page?
I think that, I mean, it makes sense to me. It's, those are I think, I wonder if you wouldn't be challenged in doing so, just because this is something of a, well, I don't know if this is a slider or some carousel that you might end up kind of ripping apart the component to do it, because the handbook that you're showing, is that a single image, or is that a collection of images that a CSS is applied to?
This one?
Yeah.
It is a single image that is being rendered by CSS altogether. It's normally a component here.
Oh, okay. So if you click and drag over that, will the connect, learn, and grow highlight for you as selectable text?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, in Safari it will, because Safari does real-time OCR, or optical character recognition. Yeah, which is deceiving, but pretty cool. Anyway, okay, good. So it's a single image. So you might be, yeah, you might have success in that other slider to change those over. Sure, yeah, that would make them much more epic, so to speak. Yeah, there's,
yeah, that's it.
you know, the book pages, that if you click on any of the books, so where Vikramaditya and Deepak are working on getting a form going.
Yeah.
Which if you gentlemen don't do that quickly, I'm just going to go put up a form, because we just need a form on the page instead of a button. But if you click on one of these links, please, whoever is sharing. Cool. Yeah, this looks like an opportunity for a 3D book.
Yeah.
Just have to get some of the rest of you to write one. It's embarrassing just having mine up there. I'm writing one right now. And so if any of you want to do it with me, I'd love for you to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. The one that's being written is on service mesh patterns. I know it kind of sounds like a joke, but I'm serious. You can write, you can be a technical reviewer, you could write a paragraph, you could write a chapter, you could write but you got to know your stuff. Cool. Great. Let's get some 3D books going on. We got a new community handbook that looks official. That's nice. You'll drop it onto the main community page. If you go to the main community page, Avantika or some others might have an opinion about the flow of the page. So if we start at the top, just a refresh for a moment, we land on the page. Great. We've got, got a background of bookmarks. Okay. And welcome. I've got a couple of ugly nerds here embracing you. All right. Trying to explain some things. And then we've got a slideshow of various contributors. So we need to refresh these images. Like there's a bunch of images of us doing things on Zoom together. There's a bunch of this redheaded dude that need to get out of here. And I'm serious. We need to get some other pictures in here. And we've got pictures. They don't, so we should. Anyway, if you keep going down, so we explained MeshMate, it's nice. There's an open source mentorship program, great. And then you keep going down. So hey, if you're new here, here's the welcome guide. And then there's an advert, so to speak, like join the community. Okay. Again, it would be great if we replace that background image with, anyway, and join the conversation. So it's almost like there are two call to actions on the page. I mean, there's a bunch of, the whole page is informational and high level because it's an overview of the community and there's a lot going on, and there's a discussion forum, there's a Slack to get into, there's a newcomer's journey guide, there's a handbook to go read. And so as we look at landing the handbook on the page, do folks have suggestions on where that 3D handbook might land? And yeah, totally. We do, Avantika, a great suggestion. We've got a number of those, and we need to put them up. Some of the pictures of people that we have, like if you click on the newcomers welcome, yeah, yep, go down. That's from a Zoom. That was a young lady that lives in Florida, or going to school in Florida, Ashita, from a couple of years ago. That was a Zoom one. So yeah, so we can get some Zoom ones up. There's been some great, like just a collage of people. Like there's,
We can just add like maybe newcomers reviews on Slack or discuss form. We can like make a collage and display here, maybe.
That'd be great. Yeah, totally. Some maybe things that people have said, or pictures of different folks. Yeah, there's a collage right there, but that collage in the background with the 5, we can have tons more of those, or like right here, or we can do different but sort of similar collages elsewhere. So you all will find the original material for that one in Figma if you want to put something together. Definitely. The quotes are a great idea, what different people have said. There's a number of blog posts that people have written about their experiences. And so you all are welcome to write one yourself, or get together with a couple of other folks and write one.
All right, Savio. Thanks for your update. So moving on, next we have an item of change the text selection color, which we were facing. So do we have Sambhav on the call? Nope, he's not present. So we'll quickly take a look at his PR. So currently, if you go to layfi.io and select text, you will get this non-brand color of green. So he has fixed and changed it to Keppel green. That's our main brand color. So I have requested few changes to use theme while referencing the color. So if it's done, let's hit merge. So next up is an update from Udit on Snapshot page. So let's quickly take a look. Or is it GitOps? All right. I don't recall what changes he has made.
Oh yeah, so I guess Shivam and Udit are both not here. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, but I see Deepak is, and so is Vikramaditya. Gentlemen, can we get those 2 forms done on the books pages? Just place the form on the page. For Vikramaditya, Deepak. Okay, I see Vikramaditya's response. If you have by the way, this is not a call where anyone wants to hear my voice any more than we have to. So feel free to speak up, turn on your webcams, be here, be present, learn something, teach somebody else something, give some feedback, sign up for something. You're all here for a reason, I'm assuming. And so it's probably not to listen to me. Deepak, you with us?
Yeah, I am in the call.
Good. Today's the day for the, are we going to merge your PR? Is it ready?
Yeah, actually, my PR was already ready. I have already added the form in the book section, but actually there was issue with the UI, and the Vikramaditya and the Savio had done a really good job on the UI, and now I think it's ready. I think it's ready. Let's get some feedbacks. If anybody is not sharing, I can share the screen.
If you don't, I'm sorry about that, Gaurav. I didn't mean to take it away from GitOps. Like these pages are very important to get out. Unfortunately, the people that are working on them aren't here. So yeah, Deepak, if you want to share.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, till Deepak is sharing, I'll just quickly say, since we are using a mesh map logo on the GitOps page, which has a text written mesh map under the logo, so we should also have the same for SMP with the white needle on the dark mode.
So this is my new PR. I have raised a new PR because that was kind of messy. That was very messy, and so this is the PR from the Vikramaditya, and it's kind of similar. Just the image is different. Like this is the for the part 1 book, and this is for the part 2 book, and these both are similar. And we have added the form also. You can see this is the practical. Like this is the demonstration now, and I think this is fine. What's your views? And you can see the this is responsive too, and like these are all credits from the Savio and the Vikramaditya. They have done a really a great job on the UI part. I was kind of blank on the UI part. I have already added the form within 3 to 4 days, but just stuck on the UI part. I think that's it. The form has been already added, just the UI part. What's your feedback, guys?
Can I just see the page once with the form and everything for the book?
And you guys want to show her the before, just sort of what the page is now, so
Okay.
as well.
I think that should be in the PR. Sorry, my internet is a little bit slow.
Yeah, if you just go to layer5.io/books.
Oh, okay.
But yep, so what the deal is that for quite a while and currently there's a couple of the books that tell people about the book, and then it just has a button that says get the book. But it turns out the link has expired, and so the link takes people to a page where they can't directly get the book. So instead, what we like to do is allow them to get the book by submitting a form, and the form will just process and directly send them the book. But so we need to find a place to drop the form.
So this is the wrong link, as you can see.
Yeah.
So this was the earlier, and now we have added the form below here as given the feedback from the Savio. And this is the form right now.
Avantika, what do you think about placing the form below the image? Can you go?
I actually had a different idea. So I was thinking that you can get really nice mockups for books. So you can use Photoshop to create a nice mockup and an image of a book, maybe on the left. And then you can create sort of a parallax that has the form on top of it. It's a little more complicated than this section. It's a little more complicated to execute, I suppose. But it would look really nice to have a book that actually looks like a book with a cover and everything. That's just moving with that parallax effect. And then you have a static form though. So the form doesn't move, but as you scroll, you can kind of see the book going, or there can be some sort of image that we can use for the parallax. I did see the 3D book. I think it's a really cool idea, but you can actually get really nice, you can get like some really cool photo, like a Photoshop animated GIF of sorts that you can create for 3D. It's a lot like more complicated maybe than just coding it in. Maybe CSS is easier, especially with engineers here. Everyone isn't a designer, so I'm just thinking more as a designer out here. But I think you need like a background maybe that can sort of differentiate the form because it's blending way too much with the background right now. So that it's just a lot of, everything is rather dark. So having like a break with a parallax image might be nice. But that's just a suggestion. What do you guys think? I can share like some resources for where we can get nice book, like renders of books where we can use that as an image and we can kind of edit it. And I am happy to do that. I can work with someone who would be working on the form right now. Savio, said you? Will you be collaborating for this section?
I can get in touch with the ones that are contributing right now, Deepak and Vikramaditya.
Okay, yeah, awesome. So maybe we can work with them and I can get in touch with them too. And we can create like a nice parallax. I think that would be a nice way to address this from a UI perspective.
All right then.
Lee, should we keep the form right now as it is, or what are your?
Yeah, we need something other than almost any form is better than a button that takes people that, you know, doesn't let people get the book.
Is this also a free ebook? Like if you fill the form, you get it? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that might be something worth mentioning, that it's not, if you want to download a free ebook, please fill the form. It might not, I mean, it seems obvious, but it may not always be so obvious.
Totally. Did one of you guys, if you go to the top of the form, not that, so by the way, the book in the form, like the form is it's the book that's the interesting thing, not the form. The page is too squished, like space out the form, make it no bigger than the book. It says get the book, but to Avantika's point, you know, it can say, yes, it can say the word free somewhere, maybe a time or two. Details like when the early release and the publish aren't necessarily overly important anymore. That those were kind of up while the book was being written. So if you guys scroll up a little bit, I think Savio or someone was saying this before earlier, is like, so if you go all the way to the top of the page, please. Great. Man, a wall of text. Who wants to read? Anyway, we're missing like, hey, let's get the book back up there. Let's get the form down below, taking it maybe the full width. Let's say free a couple of times. To Avantika's point, maybe let's take out the publish and release dates. Pretty quick updates. Then we can get people starting to get access to the book. In the meanwhile, we can get hopefully a nicer effect going on.
Lee, are these all ebooks, or do you have hard copies of these books as well?
Yep, there are hard copy. People can. I think it's all the Get Istio book is the one that is they have all been available as a hard copy. I don't know that those currently are that one that we're looking at, but the Istio book is there, up and running with Istio.
I think it might also be nice, since since you mentioned it on top of the page for this page, it could be cool to have an image. Again, maybe we can just find one on Photoshop that has like all of the books as like a little, like as a banner, you know, so that it doesn't just land to a lot of text. There's like a visual break, then there's writing with like a heading and a subheading and, you know, whatever information, and then you have another visual break for that. So we could do that. That would really improve the overall like aesthetic and functionality of the page.
Yeah, Yeah, if you go, yeah, if you, whoever is sharing, Deepak, if you go back if you go to in your URL, if you go click back, if you go to /books, or if you just go to the mega menu and if you go to all books. So to just explore what Avantika is saying for a moment, like potentially almost as if there was like a small version of this at the top of the page. Avantika, is that somewhat in line with what you were thinking?
Yeah, something similar, but I was thinking it can actually look like, it can be like a nicer mock-up rather than just the books being placed, you know, I don't know how to like describe this,
Yeah.
but yeah, like just a nicer, like a prettier, like aesthetically a little more pleasing than just having all of the books sort of stacked here. So I can find something that it's, you know, like you have a pretty spread of a book, like on a table that are just,
Yeah,
you know, cascading, so to say. So it might look
Yeah.
pretty, and it'll still show all of the books, and it can be a common image for all of these books. And then maybe we can make one where the top book is the book for the page that you landed on, and then the rest are still there, but you're on a specific page. So it could be like a very subtle, but like kind of cool thing to do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Not that this is exactly what Avantika is saying, but if it relatively close is at one point of I believe it's on one or two of the mesh map pages. There's a collection of cards that people can kind of rotate through. It's some aspects of that are similar to what Avantika is saying. The deck is overlapped. You can click on one, it loads up the specific content for that one. So yeah, nice. That'd be nice. Deepak, I suspect you're not, yeah, maybe I'll go find that page real fast, give it as a link. Rex, I'm going to call out your name real fast just to make sure that you see your name in the Zoom chat. There's a couple of things for you to take a look at, Rex. Since I know you're just joining into the community and looking to get your hands on something. Great, this is great. So the discussions on the book is great. Yeah, we do need to get some kind of a form up fairly quickly. If not, just to save my sanity, it's just been like a month of, we just need a form, and the form is just a copy of the same form that we have everywhere else. It's like very quick to do. But those other enhancements sound great. There is some design needed for like the GitOps pages. We need to tell a better story. One of the things that we need on the GitOps pages, Gaurav, if you can start sharing, or maybe I'll start to share to talk about those GitOps pages. One of the things, there's a resource article written about what is GitOps. And so it can be linked to somewhere on this page if you scroll up and down. It's too. Yep, keep going, Deepak. Keep going. There you go. Yep, it's a pretty short page, right? And so we can at least put in a section that says what is GitOps, and it points you to the resource article that we have under resources. Nice. There's some other pages that are brand new. There's a Meshery catalog page, and there is I'm going to start to share. I can't take it. So there's a catalog page, which is not too bad. Doesn't do dark mode that well. Has some decent content. It's a little bit slightly short, and it doesn't end with, I guess it ends with this CTA, but it's like after these. And this feels like it might be the end of the page. Then this feels like it. And then this feels like you're going to see the footer, but I guess I didn't even know this was here. I guess this is a call to action. There's no visuals. I assume that hopefully the site visitor would understand that this is create and share your best practices for the catalog, which is what the page is about. But I don't know that they would. And so Yeah, we can remove these from the page. There's some redesign needed. We can do better. I also don't know that this is the best in green. It works, decent on this page, but there's another new page that's up, the playground. I think it's, it's got some nice visual elements to it. This is good. But that's it. That's the entirety of the page. Not too bad, but hopefully we would have a reinforcing call to action here, as opposed to the same quotes. Does anybody want to work on either of these two pages?
I can certainly assist anyone who's working on it. I may not be able to do all of the work for changing the 2 pages.
Well, for my part, I'll open up a GitHub issue just to make sure that we're tracking the fact that there can be some enhancements on the page. And it sounds like Avantika might come out with some augmentations to those 2 pages. And so if anybody here wanted to collaborate, so Shrey Patel, are you working on something already? Are you here to work on this? You might not be here to work on this site. There's a bunch of other sites and a bunch of other front ends, so I get it.
Is Vishwas busy with something? He wanted to do a little bit of UI, so I think he might be interested in taking this up. I'm not sure if he's here though.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Chandra Vijay, if that's you. Anyway.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready to work on this page.
Okay, awesome.
All right. So an issue will be open on that. So since you have 5 minutes over, so Karan, would you quickly like to make a call for volunteer for this particular issue? That's an important one.
Could you please share the show the issue? Okay, so this is a call for volunteers. We are in need to enhance the our feature page. Multiple contributors have commented, but since they were already working on some other issues, so they have not been assigned yet. So if any issues, if any other contributor wants to get their hands on with the Meshery website and enhance and help in enhancing our feature page, so please, this is a call for you. You can signal here right now, or you can comment on the issue itself.
Alrighty. So is there any more urgent item that we need to discuss? If not, we can wrap the call.
We had like a follow-up review for Harsh regarding the lazy load integration section. Like Lee has provided some reviews and he has incorporated them.
So Harsh over here is on the call. Harsh, would like to say something on this?
Just a minute. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So here is the convo. As Lee suggested, we don't need to hide all the integrations buttons. It was present to have an overwhelming effect on the potential project users. So the issue was performance related, the loading was taking so much time. So I have addressed this issue with lazy loading, as Lee suggested. So like if you load this site, if the site is fully loaded, the integration icons, all of the integration icons will not be loaded initially. So let's wait for that. So if we clear the network activity and start to scroll, then we can see that there have some the network requests are made for some other icons. So it is prefetching before user scrolls, like we can see here. So yes, we can see some something faster here in the local version. So we haven't reached the integration section yet, but if we scroll, it is going to make some request for the icons like this. And by the time we reach, 3 lines will be loaded already. So user won't have to wait. So yeah, that's all.
Any feedback for Harsh on this issue?
Yep. Harsh, can you share maybe the link to the preview? What would be nice is for people on the call to test, just to report in their behavior or their experience of the new behavior.
Yeah, sure.
I think the only outstanding feedback is there's just an open question as to whether or not the prefetch was working. Like the lazy loading is great, and it will help as people maybe scroll quickly. You know, it'll go to retrieve the images at that point in time. But if they're just sitting there looking at the top portion of the page, in the background, we can be prefetching before they. And I think you've got code that does that. It's just that wasn't my experience when I loaded up the preview, and so that might have just been maybe the fact that the page was cached for me or something. So.
Right. So I did implement that feature manually, like writing code manually. But later I found out that there is some provided attribute for the image tag, which will take care of the prefetching as well as lazy loading. So on fast connections, it is considering 3000 pixel distance from the bottom of the screen, which will be loaded. So as users scroll, it will load more and more content. And for slower connection, it reduces to 1250 pixels and so on.
But before they scroll, does it prefetch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Then, yep. If that's working, if that's working for other people, in fact, if it's working, then we're good to go. I think it's a good improvement.
Yeah, here are all the icons, initial icons, I guess.
Yeah, seems like it's working for me. That's great. By the way, there's more enhancements needed on this page. One of them is for the catalog. There's a filter that's up. It's this compatibility filter. It's a set of radio buttons on the catalog page.
Sorry,
yeah, so just separately. So it's good, great. Let's merge this as a separate note. As we go to end the call, I'll say that there's other work that people might want to get into. Vivek is having a challenge getting this done and might need some help. On the Vivek or Gaurav, if you guys visit the catalog page, do you want to talk about the issue?
Yes, I would. So maybe like when I list all the 220 integrations, others can collaborate to like implement a show more button or like a search integrations. But yes, the all the radio buttons, I please trust me, I will be doing by tonight. I mean, what's stopping me, like what's taking more time is having HTML for all these 220 integrations, and then making sure like their images is correct, and then the IDs, their IDs. And also there's like there's some redundancy, like the data that's coming from the Meshery cloud, like there are like 2 Argo CDs, then so similarly
That's fine.
such kind of redundancy
That's
is there.
fine.
So
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about that, Vivek. But
yeah.
so and by the way, the 220 pages, it's just a single set of code for you though, right? Because it's just a template. And all
So
of the links
basically,
to the icons, all of those are there and being programmatically referenced already, like on the integrations
yes.
page. So you good? Do you want to share your code? Like what's the challenge?
Okay. So
Be
I'll
specific.
say. Just a minute.
Yeah, actually, we're over time. I forget. And Gaurav makes a great point that put up your PR so we can help get it across the line.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, let's call it a wrap. So thanks all for joining today's website call. And if you don't got your fill today, so make sure you join Thursday's newcomers call. So we'll be discussing about community projects, so you can have a deep dive into it. And make sure you press this big fat yellow button to get all the meetings to your calendar. And
just
you can
a small item. I like to add, I mentioned some of the PRs in the Meshery.io agenda. Just Lee and Gaurav, just take a look at this. I mentioned it at the last meeting too, but like we could just
all right.
merge it on or move forward.
Yeah, Karan, you can tag us on the Meshery channel. Let's get them reviewed then.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll meet next time, same place, same week. Bye all.
Thanks, Gaurav. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.